For this assignment, you're going to be creating an envelope that's going to match your letterhead that you just created that also matched your business card from last week. So again, just like before, we want to have our business card style sheet so that we could reference the different fonts, the size, the color, etc. that you used for your business card. You can also have your business card available, and then if you want, you can even have your letterhead. We're going to start just like before. We're going to open up a Google Slide. This time we're going to create an envelope. The envelope size, again, we're going to go to custom. The size is going to be 9.5 by 4.125, which is 4.25. This is a business size envelope. All right, so what you need to know in an envelope, okay, right in this very center section here, that's where you're going to type the address of the person that you're sending it to. Up in the right-hand corner is where you put the stamp. So nothing can be put in any of those areas, none of your design. Over to the left is where you put your return address, right, and any type of logo that you have. So we're going to create our design so the majority of it stays in this left-hand right corner. We can put some things down the left side. You can even put some things along the bottom, but we want to stay away from the center and the top right corner. And I want it to match my business card. So remember, again, we're going to go to a master. We're going to work from a master. And I already cleared all of this out. But if you remember from the last assignments, there was a whole bunch of text that was in each of these that you had to delete, and then a whole bunch of slides down here that you deleted. So we only need one of these. We're going to do the same thing that we did with the letterhead, and I'm going to create that textured background. So I want to insert an image and search the web. And if you remember, mine was a canvas texture. And this is the one that I used. So you want to keep it consistent. And I want it to take up the whole area. So I'm going to drag it past, line it up. Right, and then I want to crop it. If you remember, I'm going to crop down so it lines up right even. You can see my black line over to the left there lines up with the top. I'll slide down, and I'm going to drag it up to the bottom there. And then the sides should already be lined up, but I can double check that. Yep, they are. Then I'm going to click off of it. Then I want to highlight it and format it, because if you recall from my last one, my color was grayscale, and then I adjusted it so it was rather transparent. So I still want some of the wrinkles in there, but I want it rather light because I need to be able to write on top of this. And there I have my background. Now I want to add my other texture. So if we look at it, it was this paint texture. So I'm going to go again to insert image and search the web, and I want paint texture. And I chose this one right here. Okay, and I want to keep it rather consistent with the area. So I'm going to rotate this. And then I'm going to crop it. And I want to be able to use pretty close to the same area that I used before. I want it thinner because it's just going to go along the edge. I'm going to click off of that. Slide it over here. So I want to just line it up to the type of texture that I want. If I want more texture or less texture. And then I'm going to crop. So I want to bring it right down to the top of my envelope. And then line it up with the bottom of my envelope. All right. And again, I'm going to change the color. And if you recall, I used this turquoise color. So now it's looking very similar to my letterhead that I had before. And I'm going to include my logo. And then on the envelope, your return address has your name, your address. So the road, the city, and the zip code. You do not put your phone number on here. So I'm going to go back to my business card, and I'm going to make it easy on myself. And I want to get my logo here. And I want to get both of them. Hit Control-C to copy. Go back to my envelope and hit Control-V. And I have my logo. I can move my logo right up into the corner. And I can make it large or I can make it small. It's your choice. What you don't want it to do is run off the page. So we want to keep it in from the edges. As it's printing, you want to keep it so it's got even margins around the side. Right. And then I'm going to insert a text box. I'm going to start with my name. And then everything is right underneath it. So 1, 2, 5, Church Street. So the proper way to do this is in the first line is your name. The second line is your actual, the number and the street. And then you have the city, comma, the state hyphenated there, or abbreviated, I should say, and then the zip code. And I want to bring this down a little bit so it includes it all. Right, so that right there, the size is actually pretty big, and if you see, you can't see it very well. So I'm going to want to play around with size, and then I also want to keep my fonts similar. So I'm going to choose whether I want Oswald. And I may end up having just my name as Oswald and then the address itself, the E.B. Garamond, like I had before. Then I can do Miss Williams, rather bold. All right, so now I can slide this over and see if I can see that very well. Okay, so right there, it's a little bit hard to see. What I can do though is I could move it right up next to my logo and then make everything a little bit smaller. So right now it's 14 point for an envelope. You could go a lot smaller. And then I could even, so it's consistent with what I had before, I could recolor my name. All right, and if you recalled on my letterhead, I actually made my name a little bit darker. That would be key to know which one I actually used, because you want to keep that consistent. So then it is darker and then it matches the circle around there. There I have an envelope and it's on the master. So then when I go back to the master, okay, I have my envelope there. In the very center here is where I would do the address of who I'm sending it to, and up in the right hand corner would be the stamp. So it would actually look right here is where I would put, so I'm going to send this to somebody. So that would be the address that I would type in right down in that area. And then a stamp would go right up on the right hand side. And there you have an envelope that you created to match your letterhead and your business card.